Welcome to Business Talk here on businesstech.co.za. Now, if we're honest, there's a familiar pattern in businesses in South Africa developing, and I think globally for that matter. We see good ideas getting pitched, and after that, a dev team gets hired. A few months later, there's a prototype, maybe even a dashboard, and somehow the business itself hasn't really moved. So building software is one thing. I think that's obvious, but actually building something that works commercially, operationally, and at scale is quite something else entirely. And in an era where everyone is suddenly using Claude and an AI expert, that gap between the narrative and real world value is widening. So what does it take to move from concept to something that genuinely drives growth? Well, joining me now is Mikhail Edwards, co-founder of Cirrus Bridge. They're an international software and AI consultancy. They work across South Africa and the Netherlands, and it's really, they focus exactly on this idea. So Mikhail, let's just start there. Great to have you on the show because the market is saturated with dev shops that all promise delivery. When you say Cirrus Bridge is more than just a dev shop, what does that actually mean in practice?
Thank you, Michael. It's an honor being here. Thank you so much for the nice introduction. I think for us at Cirrus Bridge, we don't just build software, we try to solve business problems for organizations. So we really take their hand from step A to step 8, where we start with a design analysis, build a solution, take it to market with them so they can succeed with their product, and then also do marketing for them. So we really look at opportunities, differentiating factors within your organization to build the right solution with you. So we act as a long-term technology partner, not just a service provider, because I've seen that the devs and the enterprise architecture management within companies aren't always aligned. So we really try to align those two different concepts and build software that actually provide value to your business.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately where businesses are getting it wrong. So where would you say you sit in the value chain from strategy through to execution?
I think we start with analysis. So we start with understanding the strategy layer within your organization. Then we move to the business layer to understand the different business processes that operate. Then the data layer, how do we incorporate that data? What is the data we are looking at? And then we build that technology solution based off that business processes, data model in place. Then we can build a mobile application or enterprise system for your organization.
I think that's always the test when we talk about building something that really delivers for a particular use case. So maybe you could walk us through a real example where you've taken a client from this raw idea or even just a problem statement to a working product. And more importantly, what changed for that business as a result?
Definitely. So we had an organization come to us a few months ago and they asked us, listen, we want to build a product. So just had a vision. We didn't have any business documentation in place, any technical requirements. So we really took the hand from design phase where we did a design and analysis phase to them. So we did a Figma prototype exactly showing the company what we are building. So the stakeholders are like, we know what is expected from us. And we started at that phase. Then we moved into developed. We developed the application for them. We hosted it. We uploaded it onto the app stores, iOS and Android. And then the interesting thing is we also helped them take it to market. So we actually helped with the marketing on the product. SEO, I actually spoke about their product on Meta ads videos so we can really get their product out there, and we launched it for them, and they're currently making a lot of revenue based off that because we took them there and from a vision to a product that's actually out there and there's customers on it, people are using this product.
And I think, that's very much a cradle to grave almost solution, even going through into the SEO and the marketing, where I think when you understand that concept, that you can work with a partner that not only tackles the technical dev, but also understands the ecosystem in which you want to release a product and how to gain traction in the market, that really becomes quite powerful. Let's tackle the obvious one, because I think everyone is talking about kind of Claude code and vibe coding. And yes, there may be some use, but I think very little of it seems to translate into bottom line impact. From what I've seen, for me, it still seems to be a lot of hype. Where are you actually seeing real value being created for clients today?
Michael, I think at Cirrus Bridge, we really try to understand the business problems. And because of that, we have a lot of our partners doing our PhDs in DevOps and AI to understand the new technology, because there's a lot of noise out there, but we have to do the studying to understand what is the AI actually doing? What is agentic AI? How do we incorporate it in our system? And I think that's where it starts. We start with your data. We understand your data structures. We understand we are currently on a maturity model to understand what is specifically to your needs the right solution. Then we, within the application or within the system, we build that AI solution. Whether that's a chatbot, whether that's machine learning models running neural networks to make predictions, sentimental analysis, image recognition, we try to really understand what is the best problem for your solution. We don't want to generalize or build something or via code. We really want to build an AI solution within your platform that will provide the right value for your organization.
Yeah, and again, why I think one can kind of try and code oneself, but you need to be doing this with a partner who understands the ecosystem and how to also stress test things if they don't quite work on the first iteration. Now, I often think when you sit down with a client, they've worked with another dev team before, and they come to you and say, "Can you pick up the pieces?" So, when you look at what are the typical issues that have gone wrong after they've already spent time and money? Is it skills? Is it the strategic misalignment? Is it something more structural? What do you see as generally the big mistakes that have been made when clients come to you to help you pick up the pieces?
I think, Michael, that's a very good question. I think a lot of organizations just jump into development. They don't start with that analysis phase to really determine how long is this project going to take. I've seen poorly scoped projects where a company promises someone, listen, we're going to do it in 2 months or 1 month, but that's not the reality. So we really try to do the analysis phase to understand the business problem first, because that is so important. If you're just building in general, you're never going to build a solution that clients actually want. So we start with that business problem and requirements. We see the opportunities. We find the differentiating factors, and then we build the right solution for the organization. So we take that poorly scoped project and we turn it into a workable solution. We can do an audit for a company. So a lot of the time they ask us for a code audit. So we see the misalignment, the bugs that's going to creep in over a few weeks. Then we solve that first and then move from that into a workable solution.
Well, I mean, I could already think of one business that I know well that developed a database, SQL database years ago, and it's been glitchy and hasn't worked. So you can look at kind of legacy projects as well, I assume, and then work your way through where the problems are and help redesign those.
Definitely, and build that new technologies. Because there's a lot of new technologies. You might just need to pivot into a different technology or a different application, whether you have a web app, turning that into a mobile app or something that we can help you really provide that value.
Now, you've got teams in South Africa and the Netherlands, which is quite interesting. I think obviously beyond the obvious time zone arbitrage, what does it actually unlock for clients?
I think the biggest benefit, Michael, is the to open up a market. So we've got relationships within the Netherlands and South Africa. So if you're a South African client that wants to go internationally, we can help you build that product and then market it for you in the Netherlands. We've got a team on that side, so we've got the opportunity to unlock a new market for you. And then the cultural and business understanding across multi-markets is a big benefit for us, and the ability to scale teams efficiently while maintaining that quality for your specific product. So I think there's so many benefits that it provides over time. You must just understand the right market. What is the market looking there? And obviously the currency conversion is a big thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And when one talks about the ability to work through the life cycle, as you said, I mean, I think it's often easy to say, but what does it look like in reality? How involved do you stay once a product is live? Do you just wash your hands and walk away?
Never. We really try to become a strategic partner. That's big for us, Michael, because when our clients succeed, we succeed. So if I can give you an example, we've got a client in the New Zealand. So I actually flew over last year in November for 3 weeks to go and spend time with them to understand their business problem first and understand how we can take that business problem, create a right solution for them. I also traveled to the Netherlands to understand the right requirements for those clients. So we really try to spend time with the businesses in order to build that right solution. So we're not just a software development house, but we're also a business-focused company. And I think over time, we formed that relationship. So over time, we can build to get the right features for you in place, and then also help with your marketing. So after the product is developed, we go on, we help you maintain that application of enterprise system. We do the marketing for you. We help you translate that product into a workable solution over time and get in a return on investment for your company.
So I think that's all really compelling and quite differentiated, because if we're quite blunt, I think there are a lot of software companies out there. There are very few that are actually involved in the business to that extent and that level. So for a business listening to this and thinking, right, we've got ideas, maybe we've got legacy IT projects we need to sort out, but we don't know where to start. What does that first engagement typically look like when they sit down with you?
I always try to meet with the clients in person. Obviously, if it's a different country, it's difficult to travel there, but we'll have a quick consultation just to understand your idea. And then I really try to delve into your business to understand what is your opportunities, because I always see the positive and the optimism. So I try to see the positive in your business, and I try to deliver a solution for your organization. So we get a team involved. So it's normally a solution architect, a software dev, a UX designer, and a business analyst, because each of them have a different role to play. So we try to understand it. We sort of design analysis phase where we really analyze your business, design the right prototype for you, and then we deliver normally within 3 months an MVP for your company. So you get quick results, because we believe there needs to be a return on investment for a product we're building. It's an investment, yes, but there needs to be a return on investment. So we try to deliver MVP as quick as possible. So we'd really walk that journey with you. We start with a consultation, move into design analysis, and then deliver a product for your organization.
And I love that multidisciplinary approach, because then it means you're solving for the right thing at the end of the day. Mikhail Edwards, thank you very much. Co-founder of Cirrus Bridge. Great having you on the show, sharing a little bit more about a very crowded market, but one where your offering certainly does stand out. And let's hope we can help people not make those same mistakes when they start thinking they can vibe code enterprise level solutions for their businesses. Thanks for your time.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Michael. It was an honor being here. I really appreciate your time.